Paul, how was that for a test against Premier League opposition tonight? Encouraged?
Yes, not get carried away with the type of game it is, and I'm sure they had gears that they could have gone through. But at the same time, I thought there was big improvement from Saturday. Not that that was all bad either, but in a couple of days, I think the lads have, took on some of the thoughts and tactical aspects that we've spoke about from the weekend and implementing quite well. And that's what I said before the game. We know the quality we're up against, but we need to at least see that they understand what's being asked. They might not always be able to execute it and how much we'd have of the ball, etc. But I have to say, I thought it was, like I said, a good performance. Lots of positives to take. Obviously, still some learnings to take, and for us, even as sort of coaches, looking at one or two things that we want to perhaps tweak if we come up against that type of team, a different formation to go up against as well. And I thought, like I said, that the lads did very well tonight. Fitness
levels looking very good as well.
Pretty good. We're having to balance it because we haven't quite got the luxury that squads like Birmingham and Leicester have got. But at the same time, we're not that far away in reality, but still, very much trying to manage players. Credit to someone like a Morgan Feeney. I know he didn't play at Brackley, but he's just had 2 sort of 90 minutes now under his belt. So he'll be in a good place, albeit I'm sure a little bit tired tonight. But overall, we're getting there with the group that we've got.
Yeah, you were pushing right to the end, weren't you, tonight? But unlucky not to get an equaliser maybe in the end, a few chances.
There was a scramble, but I'd started talking, so I didn't really see what happened. But I had a few oohs and ahs, and then the ball went wide, I think, for another corner. They've had obviously some moves and some real quality. I think the difference you see is kind of the amount of 1-2s that they play to get out of tight situations, and when they go, they change of pace is something that is a difference between being probably a League One player and a Premiership player. So there were times that were always going to be tricky to navigate, but I thought the discipline and the sort of shape that we asked them to play, they did a lot of good things within that. Like I said, that was a positive for us.
I'm pleased to get John Marquis 45 minutes tonight, your most recent signing?
Yeah, he's certainly looked after himself over the summer and done the work. At the same time, in terms of the real football work, it's not been too many days that he's been with us. So he's in to a degree. He showed a couple of bits there in terms of using his experience, hold the ball up and the positions he took. So we got a couple of options there. Still, we'll look to add to that as we move forward. But I think just there was all the lads, and then the young lads got a little bit of run out, some more than others. But even trying to get that message across to him, and Javel maybe summed that up at the end, as in he gets one sort of touch of the ball but made a real impact with that, won a free kick for us, and that's what they've got to try to do, is take on board what we're asking of them when they're with us, and also then to make sure they're not just going out there making up the numbers, go and try and impress, and thought they all did okay tonight.
The new signings seem to have fitted in very nicely. A word about Tommy O'Reilly, perhaps. Has he got the potential to become a real crowd favourite here? He seems a really nice footballer to watch. Very, very, very good technically, very comfortable in possession.
He is, but he's also got to learn when to sort of take more touches, where that's acceptable, what's the situation. There was a couple of loose moments. You can say good pressing from them, but if he moves the ball quick, he doesn't get caught, and that's going to be, I think, part of, like I said, the learning that he's going to have to undertake. We want him on the ball. He's good in tight areas, but maybe he's back to goal, on some straight passes, and perhaps 30 yards from our goal, 40 yards from our goal, not the best situation. Get higher up the pitch. He obviously played the ball to Jordan Shipley for what was the own goal, our goal on the evening. Good ball across from Ships, which was difficult to defend. But he's a good player, and that's why we brought him here. But it's different than playing 21s football, and fitness levels, he knows himself, has got to get better. Because the last thing I want, and I've already said to him at the weekend at half time, is I don't want him to be or not be in the team because everyone's labelling him a luxury player, and obviously that label also would come from myself, and I don't want that, because someone of his ability should be out on the football pitch.
How is the ongoing recruitment search coming along? You hoping to get somebody else in, or players, or player for the weekend?
Look, I need to go and catch up on that side. There was no dialogue today, but we know that we're going to see each other tonight after the game to see where we're at and see if any situations have changed. I've got ideas in my mind of potentially what I'd like to happen, but unfortunately that's not just in my hands. So we'll see whether anything can happen before the weekend. I'm not sure. It's certainly a possibility, but I'm certainly at the same time not particularly expecting it to.
The trialist keepers had 45 minutes a game each tonight. Is Toby Savin, has he got a chance for the weekend to be involved in the Derby County game?
Yeah, providing there's no kind of last minute setbacks, I expect Toby to get some minutes at the weekend. That's been the plan, to be honest, since pretty much he signed. So as I said, I think at the weekend there's nothing untowards there. He's joined in both the warm-ups. He's doing more, as you'd expect, each day that goes by, and I'd expect to see him at the weekend.
And just finally for me, a quick word on Derby. Obviously, you know the management team very well. Looking forward to that. Another tough test this weekend.
Yeah, I think they've had a week away. So it'll be nice and tanned, I'm sure, and ready to have a good catch-up. Always nice to see them. Good guys over there. Had a fantastic season, and will be another really good test for us. Probably, respectfully to Derby themselves, who are obviously now a championship team, but in some ways I think maybe we'll be more towards what we will expect to get in terms of League One, because of how I think committed they'll be, and again as we edge ever closer to the start of the season, so be a really tough game. I think maybe a little bit more physical in certain aspects than the two previous games that we've had, but again another big test for the boys.
Thanks very much, Paul.
Cheers, Stuart.